What's up, everybody? We are sitting at the scale in the fields with our plants, and they're having to rework the trailer. We were about 98,000 pounds, so a little heavy. So they're reworking it so we can get scaled out. While we sit here, we're going to start the crown heads, Las Calaveras 6x54, and this is the 2025 edition. I've never tried any of the others, so I don't know what to go off of. I don't know if this is a good one or not. Smells good. Nice foot band. Um, like I said, I've never smoked any of the others, so this is my first experience with them. Not with crown heads in general, but with this line. Get our Instagram photo before we take the foot band off. You see me keep looking out and paying attention to make sure when they're ready for me to back up or whatever we're ready. Now this one's been riding around with me in the truck for a minute. Oh, there's a little bit of a sweetness to that. Not like a sweet cap, but like the pull. But as you guys know, I do not. Finish up some of this coffee before it gets cold. I do not really go off of the cold draw. Because for me, 90.9%, 99% of the time, it never translates into the cigar once it's lit up. Every once in a while it will, but it hardly ever does it for me. It becomes a whole completely different cigar after light up for me. That's why I don't spend, for newer viewers, that's why I don't spend a lot of time going over notes on a cold draw like other people do. Because just for me, it doesn't translate over once it's lit. So instead of wasting my time on those kind of notes and your time, we just go right into lighting it. There is a sweetness to it, though. Not like an added sweetness. When I say that, don't get me wrong. It's not an added sweetness. It's not a sweet tip. It's not an infused. The natural tobacco has a sweetness to it. And that can all be in the fermentation and stuff of the tobacco, the way they've cured it and fermented it. Fermented it. That's nice though. There's a almost a cookie note, like the brown cookie without the sweet. Well, I don't know, kind of a little bit of the sweetness too. Almost like a brown cookie. If that makes sense. Um, while we're sitting here, I haven't done it in a while. I missed like the last 2 weeks. Let's see if I got time. Um, our community spotlight. We have Tommy Original Videos, Wesley123P13. We have Barista Steve, hey, MD63, and Jeff Hernandez. Oh, Jeff Herdzina. Sorry, Jeff. 6717. So those are the top community spotlight. The last 2 weeks, sorry, I don't know who it was. And whoa, Whoa. We have a big change in the top five. Whoa. We have Uriel Heaven's Guardian in the number one spot. Birdman has lost the number one spot. It's been a number one for pretty much the whole length of this channel. We have Uriel at 883 comments. And then we have Birdman at 363. That's quite a gap between first and second. And we have Jules Baby at 303, rounding the third. We got in fourth place, we have Chris Carpenter at 225. And rounded out on the top five, we have a Whittleback Cigars at 207. Now, it used to be Birdman was like over 100 ahead of everybody. That's almost 500 comments ahead of everybody now, Uriel. Brother, you've been busy. That's amazing. That is amazing. And of course, for everybody else, I appreciate every single one of you. You like sixth place and stuff. We got Biddy for Life. We got Timothy Connor Jr. We got Seb the Globetrotter, Ricky Hawkins. I mean, Dennis Inglewood, Nevitz, 123, Cigar Swag. You guys are all right there. I appreciate every single one. And if I didn't say your name, and if you're not in the top five, don't worry. I appreciate every single one of you and your comment. If it's one comment, just a thumbs up, whatever, it means a lot to me. Because you're taking your time, not just to watch the video, you're taking the time out of your life, your day, whatever you got going on, for one, to watch the video, and for two, to actually comment. Hold on. Now they got to move around while we got the truck axles on the scale. Anyway, what I was saying is, for taking the time out of your life and whatever you guys got going on, not just to watch the video, but to actually comment, thumbs up, heart, fire, whatever, it's still taking time, and I appreciate it because everybody's time is precious. So, anyway, we're gonna let this settle in. It's got a very sweet cookie to it right now. A little bit of like pepper on the retro, like a white, sweet white pepper. Nothing major. Smooth smoke. But we're going to let that settle in and see how it develops. And I'll be back. All right. We are on our way. We're down to 79,800 pounds. Maxed out. Pretty much. We're not saving any fuel tonight, that's for sure. Anyway, I had a pretty good ash, but I had to set it down to go sign the paperwork, and it fell off. That's where we're at. So, Still has a nice sweetness to it. Nice smoke texture. Still has a little bit of that cookie with the white sweet pepper on the retro. There's a nuttiness on the long finish of the palate. It's almost like a creamy cashew for me, anyway. But that's where we're at. We're getting close to about the halfway point here in a little while. I'm going to turn this light off so I can see where I'm going. Anyway, like I said, I've never had one of these before any other year, so I'm not sure if this is a banger compared to those or what, but it's a good cigar so far. So far, I'm enjoying it, and I'm glad to have more, but we're not done. So, as you know, any cigar could take a turn, and we'll see what happens with this one. So, we'll be back. All right, guys. This thing is smoking really nice. We're about to the band. Still has that nice little sweetness to it. Sweet, white pepper, the retro. Not overpowering, just enough to let you know it's there. But that finish of like almost a creamy cashew or something, that nutty is just really nice, creamy with that little bit of sweetness off the tobacco. Good tobacco. I mean, this is where we're at. We're about halfway to the band, so I'll end up taking this band off. We're hammered down. We're heavy. We just pulled the grade. When we leave out of where we leave, you have about a mile and a half before we start pulling a 8%-ish to 10%, 6%, and kind of move up and down grade. You have about a mile and a half to get up to some speed before you start pulling that grade. We're at the top. We're working our way back to Weed, California, and then I-5 and then southbound to Yuba City. So anyway, smoking good. I would smoke this again at this point. I'm glad I got more. I only got a 5-pack, but at this point it's box worthy. So unless it takes a dramatic change somewhere here, which for a couple people I've seen it do on their reviews, and at this point where I'm at, there's already changed on them. It turned, and mine is still smoking just the same. Now, it's not moving up and down or anything, so if you get bored with a cigar that has just the same, this might get boring to you, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm not having to really think hard about it, what I'm doing, you know what I mean? Just a nice, it's a nice smoke. Burn light is getting a little wonky because of the windows, you know, but hey. Anyway, that's where we're at, so I'll come back. Alright, where we're at, about done with her. Close. We're going to nub this one. That sweetness has went through the whole cigar, that cookie kind of sweetness. The nutty creaminess on the palate has stayed. Here towards the end, the tobacco strength has picked up, like the flavor of just the tobacco on the tongue. White sweet pepper has stayed on the on the retro the whole time. Nothing overpowering, just enough to let you know it's there. For me, this was a really enjoyable cigar. I know others that took a turn on them, and for me, this one did not take a turn. Now, like I said, if you get bored with cigars, if they stay the same, this one might do that to you. But I enjoyed that it kind of stayed the same, especially when I'm hammered down. Don't really have to think, you know, and doing a video. overall really good cigar though. I enjoyed it. I'm still enjoying it. And for me, the sweetness of that cookie kind of sweetness and all that I just talked about has stayed throughout the thing. It is ramping up on the tobacco though a little bit, like the strength of the tobacco flavor. It's probably a medium. For me, it's probably a medium to plus cigar. For others, it might be a plus cigar, and for others, it might be a medium minus. So it's all about what you are used to and what you can handle. But I definitely would try it. And like I said, I don't have any reference go off of the previous years. I've heard the 23 was really good, but I can't get my hands on it, so I don't know. For me, the 25, banger. So anyway, we're gonna end the video here. We're almost a week. So, as always, thanks for tuning in. Always try them to sticks, and always keep it smoky, my friends.